Right, so this is a quick video on wiring in an extension phone socket. Now, this is if you just moved into a new build property and your BT engineer has installed the master socket from the outside. Obviously there was a blank plate there, but when we moved in, OpenReach came around and they installed the master socket there. Now, this is a new house, so you'll see that it's got an extension there, which currently doesn't work because it isn't connected. Now, all the cables, there's a couple in the bedrooms and there's a couple in some of the rooms in the house. They're all wired together, but they're not connected to the main master socket. They've just been left in the wall. So I'm just going to show you a quick way of doing this. Now, obviously, if you're not confident about doing it, don't bother, but it's fairly straightforward and it will only work if you've got the same sort of cables, which they're pretty standard anyway. Obviously the ones that are coming into the house, they supply the phone and the broadband. Then it's not fibre, it's just Sky broadband. So yeah, it's pretty easy. What you have to do is remove the face plate of the master socket. Now you'll see on here that there's not a lot going on. There's obviously this little junction box here, which is where you can fit an extension into. Now, if you didn't have the wires already in the wall, which I'll show you in a minute, and you just had this and you wanted to wire up an extension, you can use this connector block to do so. Now, what you do is you pop that up like so, and you'll see that it has the numbers 2, 3 and 5. And what you need to do is get your telephone cable. I've got a piece here, so you'll have your telephone cable. There's a variety of wires on the cable which you're not going to need, and there's also the string which is on the inside that you use to splice the cable. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But anyway, the three that you're going to use were the two. The orange, not so much. There's only a blue and the blue and white coming into the house. And that is what you would connect to this little block. Now, you've got to get it in the right order. Obviously, you're going to need to connect the blue wire to 2. So the blue will be to 2, and the blue and white, or the white with the blue marks on, needs to go to 5. If you've got an orange cable connected, you'll also need to wire that into 3. But I'll show you how to do that now. It's pretty straightforward. So basically, what you need to do is you need to take this plate off. Okay, pretty straightforward. You'll need a flathead screwdriver. Now, obviously, if you're not confident doing this, then don't bother. But like I say, it is quite easy. So remove the face plate. Like so. And what you'll see is that the BT bloke or OpenReach, this wire is coming from outside. It comes into the house. This is like the main feed for the internet and the telephone, and you'll see there that it goes into a connector block on the back, and it's just marked up B and A. You've got your blue, solid blue going into the B, and you've got your white and the white and the blue cable going into A. They're the only two that are connected. Like I say, there's a variety of different ones there, but they're the only two that are connected, so they're the only two that you're going to need to connect into your extension. If you wanted to, you can open that up and obviously connect them into there as well. There's enough room for 2 cables, but I'm just going to use the one on the front because I'm not going to have an extension running at the bottom because they're already in the wall. So obviously this is the cable been left by the builders, and what you're going to need to do is obviously you need to cut through the cable and about here. Don't go all the way through, just take the outer sheath off. Okay, and when you've done that, obviously pull off the outer sheath, like it's harder than you think. So now don't worry too much about it being all tatty. What you need to do is you need to find the 3 string cords that are inside, actually 4, and you get them like so, and you want to, if you can, get them by your fingers, or if not, get a pair of needle nose pliers and pull it down through the cable. If you pull it down through the cable, it will, I say it will. Let me just get some needle nose pliers, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, let's try again. So there's your cables, there's your string. Just take these, wrap it around a couple of times, but you need to get proper good purchase on it or it won't actually work. You should eventually, there you go, it should just splice the cable. You don't want to go too far, but obviously you need enough to feed through, so you want to take that back and then you want to cut off the outer casing because you don't need that. Now you want to find your 2 cables that you need. In this case it's the blue and the white with the blue on it. Sometimes you might have an orange one, but in this case we haven't. So you want to take the other cables and just get them out of the way. Just wrap it round like so. Don't cut them off because you might need them, or somebody might need to use them at a later date. So you've got your 2 blue ones. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of running my cable up through the bottom or going into the back there, I'm just going to, there's a little hole there. Obviously it's not meant for this, but it does the job. You can just feed them through there. There you go. And you've got your 2 cables. So what you want to do is you want to feed them. So you want your blue into 2. Now what you got to remember is on this connector block there is 2 holes, one at the front and one at the back. Now you have to feed the wire through the first hole and also through the hole at the back, and same again with the other wire, through the first one and through the wire at the back. It must go right through to the back. can't miss the holes. So once you've fed them right through, make sure you've got them pushed in, and then you want to clamp down your connector. Now that's got some metal serrated connections in it which cut through the wire. Click it into place and there you go, connection made. So that extension is now connected to your main feed. You can open this up and connect this one into there, and you can use that. Also, you could open that up again and you could put some more cables in. I think you can do up to 2 connections at a time in each hole. So you can still run a cable through there. Now, this isn't a set way of doing it. You don't have to do it like that. You can use the back one, but it's just easier than taking it out and doing that. So now all you need to do is put your plate back on the wall, your master socket. So obviously you want to make sure your cables aren't in the way of the screws, and then fit that back onto the wall, like so. Sometimes they're a bit tricky to line up. If you a bit, that's it. You want to slacken this one off, and then you want to move that over a bit to cover where it was. It's not that hard, it's a little bit tricky sometimes, but once you've got that, I'll tell you what, I'll use a bigger screwdriver. Right, there we go. Sure it's nice and straight, looks alright. Same again with that one, just tighten it up. You don't need to go madly tight with it, just so it's nice and snug. Now, you'll notice that there's no dial tone, still no dial tone. The phone's connected in the lounge to the extension, but still not going to work. Now don't obviously think, what have I done, it's not right. You need to connect this front panel back on because it bridges the connection from there to this. So basically, when you put the shut back on, you should have a dial tone, which you have. So there we go. And that's your extension in the lounge connected, and also it will be the ones connected through the rest of the house. So there you go. If it's a new build and your extensions that are built in aren't connected, take your main master socket off, have a look, and you should just have the blue and the white and blue. But if you've got fibre or anything like that, they might be slightly different. Like I say, we haven't got the fibre broadband here. We've just got the normal Sky and a telephone. So thanks for watching.